Live. Hello everyone, this is Angelina, and I would like to warmly thank and welcome all of you for joining us here today for the Smarter World webinar. The prime reason that we all gather here for the webinar is so that many questions can be asked and answered all in one call, so that we're not continually answering the same question from multiple people, whether it's here in the meeting or in the Skype rooms. Given that, I would ask everyone to please respect Noel's time and the information that he talks about, because he's providing all sorts of updates on these webinars. And please pay close attention to what's being said so that you can formulate your questions as well very clearly. Also, please remember to hold all of your questions and comments until we announce the Q&A period, which is typically at the end of any presentation of information. Once again, welcome to all of you joining us from wherever you are in the world, many different time zones, late, early, in between. We greatly appreciate your attendance and participation. Now, without any further delay, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to our speaker for today, Mr. Noel Adams, the founder of Next Level Africa and our CEO and leader of the SMATA team. Welcome, Noel.
I would like to particularly thank the admin staff for what they do. They're really, there's a lot of work that goes on in the background that people are not aware of. And one important group that I really have neglected, and I apologise for this, is the health group. And they are based in the rooms and do their best to answer questions in the rooms out there. So I do want to thank that entire group of people that make this whole thing possible. So in saying that, look, I'll move on to where we are, and not necessarily in any order out there, but I'll try to cover as much as I can. Look, one of the things that seems to come up a bit is posts in the rooms, and it's really a difficult one. There's some people think they're posting something that's not really against what we're posting, but it's sometimes the answers that come back and the questions that come back from people that are not necessarily informed about what's going on, so it actually goes sideways. So trying to have admin staff and helpers answer some of those questions, we're reluctant to do it because it can go sideways. And look, in the investors' room is probably one of the rooms that seems to pop up there, because understanding that we are an investment group into cryptocurrency, but we're not advertising every single cryptocurrency. And when a new one comes out and someone puts a post in there and a link, it becomes a red flag situation, because it might mean that other people just think that they can post a link out there as well, and we're trying to protect everybody to make sure that there's no links that go out there that could have malware attached to it. I mean, we want to make sure that our group are very much protected. So look, when admin asks you to remove a post that you put one in there, there's no point in arguing about it. It's one of those areas that it may not look as though it's offensive out there or means anything, but it certainly can run into questions not only going to the room but coming to our support base as well, with people wanting to ask a little bit about it. And we don't know anything about it when a new crypto comes out there. I mean, we just know what you know about it. So just be aware of whatever we post in there, because a lot of people in those rooms are simply people looking for an investment as well. And really, that most of the people in the room, in the investors' room, that have a vested interest out there. They own either Jingling or NLA coin, and they're the ones that you really want to be selling and promoting. So unless you're earning money on some of the other coins, you really don't want to be promoting that as well. Okay, look, that's just to cover the rooms out there. Also, too, I'll just make a quick mention on programs that we've been involved with and where they've gone. It's really up to the individuals to keep an eye on the updates that these people are putting into their programs. People like BCN and WebTalk. There's some quite a bit of information coming through there on WebTalk. One of the things that did turn me off WebTalk a bit, there seemed to be no checking on who was listing out there. Because they don't have any KYC, you could have almost anybody. You don't know who you're dealing with. So there seems to be a lot of scamming that's going on in there with people wanting to put money into your account and stuff like that. So I'm hoping they get that fixed up when they're getting ready to launch. They're making mention of some things they're getting ready to launch. So so anyway, we just keep an eye on that. BCN, they're doing the same, putting posts in there, so just keeping an eye on those. I mean, I still think BCN's got a lot of, you know, a lot going for it. It's just that when we first joined the BCN component out there, we were looking at it because, as you know, our coin is staked, and so mining coins became an issue out there. So when they offered the opportunity of mining Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin was $20,000 a coin when we first became part of, or heading for 20,000, and then of course now we know where it is now. It's under 4,000. So it's just a difference out there, and the finding blocks is becoming harder and harder. So there's, you know, they're trying to get on top of that. So anyway, I don't feel there's any problem with it. It's just that it wasn't returning what it was when we first joined, and it's an ongoing process, so it could improve over the next months or whatever it is. So just keep an eye on it. UPB, they tell me they've had to change their programmers again. They've got a group that they're working with now, so keeping an eye on that. I'm in regular contact with David to see what's going on there. So I mean, we've all got a little bit of challenges now in the programming area out there, so he's certainly getting on top of that himself with it. Just to move on from that then to look, I want to point this out. Over the last couple of weeks especially, and this is where we've been having trouble getting updates happening all over the place. Our hub, which is in South Africa, if anyone's read up about South Africa at the moment, they've got major problems with their power supplies, and the power supply out there is they're running, I think, now on 4 to 5 hours down every day. So these people have got other businesses and other activity that they're doing. So compiling everything, getting it together when they go down for 4 or 5 hours a day has presented major strain on them getting things done, being able to contact the global market and keeping us informed about what's going on as well. So it's been rather difficult. I have written off to London to get more of a hands-on from London about what's going on. So I'm just waiting to hear back from them, because their department, who looks after the projects out there, they've got specialty people that do things, and I just want to have a helper that comes in and can keep us informed with what's happening with the investors. Now, speaking about the investors, look, everything has been completed that they need out there. Initially, when they came back after this 42-day investment, because of this issue with the TriStar Bank and changing over to from Wells Fargo to TriStar, there was issues going on with that, and there had to be okay, look, I'm just getting some people putting messages in there that they can't hear me. Am I, is it, coming through all right? Can you hear me all right? Yes, okay, but on this, it's obviously a lot of yeses coming through, so it might be something on the person's end that can't hear it. Just check your own volume and things out there. Okay. So anyway, so I'm trying to get direct link so that we've got an assistant that looks after our issues directly from the bank, so that we can, because we've been working in with South Africa, that's where our programming people are. They've been having total issues with what's going on. It seems that they've got to load the line 6, the issues with line 6, because we have a number of changes that they're making where accounts have been taken over as well. And when they get them loaded in, ready to go, they get halfway through it and the power goes off. So they've had to restart again, and sometimes they've gotten behind with other things they're doing. So we're trying to work with them to try and get this completed. I mean, there's really not that much to do there, and every time there's this power outage, it throws us out completely. So hopefully we can get that rectified and have that all completely in place. So look, the investors are still there, and they are whatever they need to do. Initially, when they came back in, there was an issue with the routing number, because there's a different routing number in the States. So they all filled out their forms and sent them in, but there was a wrong routing number. So the bank didn't have the indication on who was going to, you know, whether the duck was going to be placed in the various accounts. So they got that sorted out, and then for some reason the bank wanted a copy again of the proof of funds. And there was two things. They had to do the checking on that. The proof of funds, so that was resupplied to the bank, and also proof of purchase, in other words, what they were using the funds for. So all that documentation has been passed on. So it's now left with the investors to complete, and I think they have. It's just now in the hands of the market maker to release the coins. So we should see something very, very soon on that. It's all, our end's been completed. There's no issues with wallets or the exchange. It should all be happening out there. And just to add this in as well, and how important it is to save your wallet.dat file, one of the main investors mentioned to a friend of his, now remember this, these people all linked together because they do the humanitarian investment through the Jingling component, and so a lot of them got to know each other, and some of them have got some pretty serious money that they play around with. So one of our main guys actually told one of his people about the purchasing of NLA coin. This person had $7 billion worth of Jingling coin in a wallet. Now, I'm not saying that they paid $7 billion for the Jingling coin. It may have it's increased in value, and so that's where it is with it. They wanted to actually convert some of that over and get the bank to look at doing it in NLA coin, or converting it to duck, so they could purchase NLA coin. But what's happened is that they had deleted their wallet off the computer for whatever reason and did not save a wallet.dat file. So the last report I heard, they've actually lost the $7 billion worth of Jingling coin. So all I'm trying to point out is how important is it to save your wallet.dat file. So whether you've got $10 worth of coin there or $7 billion worth of coin, it doesn't protect you, because of the more you've got. If you lose your wallet.dat file, you don't have a record of it. So that's the whole thing with security on these things out there. So please make sure you do a backup, and and you won't have that issue with it at all. So look, that's really where we are. The investors are still there. They're being supplied now with everything that they possibly need. The bank had a representative, a female representative, go over to assist Trevor over there, the broker, to help these people fill out their various orders there for purchasing duck. So they've done that, and so now we're just waiting for the activity to start. I can't get the regular updates I get from South Africa because of these power problems out there. So that's where we are. But in the background, we still have been working on a number of things out there. And one of the things that you may have remembered I mentioned before was the e-commerce social media platform. Now, we've been working on that because the banks want us to set up global accounts. We'll have a global central account, and then we'll have accounts at various countries so that we can market and manage from each of those, because we're looking to set up offices in these regions so that it can be managed with support, you know, for the local areas, and because we are hoping to really get this into a fairly broad marketplace out there. Because we're looking at two things. The e-commerce is an area where you can introduce the merchants to it and their customers, and the social media is an area where if you don't feel comfortable, you don't know merchants out there, you can introduce your family, friends, whichever it is, to the system, and you'll be paid accordingly on that. So both will have an income structure to them, and we're still working on that just to refine it, but they'll both have an income structure on it. The other thing is that we are earmarking the income from this, percentage of this income, to look after our charities and personal fundraising projects. In other words, if people are raising funds for educating their children, medical stuff, or just simply a holiday, I guess, out there, we're looking to be able to finance that, because we can't touch the humanitarian money. That's strictly for the humanitarian projects out there. So we're trying to put something in place with this e-commerce social media platform. We feel we'll be able to do that. So, look, mind you, we've been trying to work out for months on this. We've thrown quite a few ideas around, and really what we've come up with is how we're going to be releasing the links, because once the links are released out there, what I'm saying is that once the links are released, is that we will have it set up that the members we release the links to will go on the front line of the company. Now, what we're going to do with that is put those members into a rotator, and the rotator will work as a rotator works. So in other words, we'll have the company link, because we don't want to be in opposition against any of our members. We're not looking to try and have people sign on the company link and members do not benefit for that for them to collect their commission structure from it. And I don't want the company to be seen as opposition to anyone out there. So what will happen is that those links will go into a rotator, and then those people will be allocated the sign up. Now, also those members will have their own link, so if they want to build their own business as well, they'll do that. I'm doing this in a uni-level structure because there are only small amounts to be paid within it, so you'll need to run it fairly wide. If you do it in a matrix, you don't get enough people in there to make it worthwhile. So doing it in a uni-level structure is going to be a way that people can get a lot of people in. Because let's say that you were to talk to a retailer, and depending on the retailer, but most retailers are going to have in excess of 1,000 customers. I mean, that's a small retailer out there. So some of the larger retailers are going to millions of customers, but a small retailer will most definitely have 1,000 customers. So if you were to sign up that retailer, and then that retailer introduces his customer base to the system, because remember this, the retailer gets paid for his customers and they also get paid to become part of it. We are now sitting with something like $47 billion that we're going to be using on this project. So we have some decent funds to get this started. So we anticipate that with what we're offering out there in the way of the e-commerce and the social media, it would not be unrealistic to think of that we could see 100 million members join us over the next 12 months. And because it is basically two of the largest projects or programs out there. We're talking retail and social media. So there should be quite a large number. And of course, from that, we're given the opportunity then to share with them our coin, because the coin will be a coin that's been seen as backed by the banks, and merchants will be encouraged to accept that coin. And of course, the more we can have the coin being used, the more exposure the coin has, and the supply and demand, the coin value will go up. So therefore, getting the coin out there. Because how I'm going to pay this is that, let's supposing that you were, I'm just going to use easy figures because we haven't set this in concrete yet, but you'll get an idea. Let's supposing that you are getting paid $1 per month for your just signing up. There are certainly other ways to make money. We've got some stalls from the merchants, a very similar concept that we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but a very similar concept to what Amazon are using. But let's assume that you're signing up and you're just getting $1 a month. To pay you $1 a month, it would take you some time to accumulate enough money there to be able to transfer that out, because of the bank fees and things like that that you would pay for the fees within the bank. But if we pay you in cryptocurrency, in the NLA coin, you can transfer that out to your wallet at any time you want. And the charges on doing that are minimal. They're running to cents to transfer many coins. So people can do that. And what happens from that, instead of us giving you the $1, and I'll use $1 as an example, but obviously if we've got a few million members, that would be a few $1 million. That money then goes into the coin exchange, and it purchases coins from the coin exchange. So that coin or dollar that you've received, when you accumulate that out there, you will be able to list that back in, and whatever the going price, the market maker's value, we will be paying that to purchase the coin. We'll stay in front of it a bit, so we're always a little bit in front. We've got coin that, because our coin will continue to go up at least once or twice a month. So we'll see that happen. And of course, with the volume of coin out there, just pure volume and supply and demand, we can see it going up with that as well. So that's how we're trying to manage the e-commerce social media platform and getting that running out there. Now I'm going to go over a couple of things now on how we've decided to do it. So it may be that you've got to absorb this, because remember, we've been talking about it now for months, and we're trying to work out how we're going to support things out there, because we really have some major plans in mind on what we want to do with assisting people, and particularly with some of the large groups in the way of just churches and charities that we have out there, that we're looking to PIF them into Next Level Africa. And so we're looking for not only our support but member support. Just people helping people is the best way to go. And I've always said that we hunt better as a pack. Speaking about pack, I was at the Sydney Zoo all day yesterday, so I've seen a lot of pack animals and how they work together. So, but anyway, I just feel that members should be looking after other members, and in doing that, you give enough people what they want, and you'll certainly get what you want. So, with that being said, I'm going to now go over. You'll probably find that you need to absorb what we're putting in there, but it's certainly for the benefit of everybody out there. Now, the e-commerce marketplace and social media platform, and the reason we are building the e-commerce platform is to introduce merchants to a unique cryptocurrency. The social media platform get paid to socialize, introduce family and friends, and get paid, so do they. Now, the merchants are probably going to be our biggest player in this, but nevertheless, this social media, we are taking on the likes of anybody that does social media stuff out there, so Facebook especially, I guess, and we certainly have the resources to be able to do this. So I do feel that as a team that we can do it, because once we get this launched out there, the word will spread very, very quickly on what we've got to offer, because no one else has ever done this. No one else has ever had a pool of $47 billion to get, and it increases each month. We will receive a couple of $1 billion out of that each month. The bank are looking after our investments on that. Now, registration is free. You get paid monthly in NLA coins. Each personal referral you receive, once again, we haven't really worked that out, but let's assume it's going to be around $1 per month in NLA coin. Now, those referrals are known as your first level. Your second level, who are introduced by your first level people, you receive, it'll be payment, because we're running it down probably, I'm going to 7 to 9 levels. So if you can understand that, look, I'll be honest with you, we've got about $5 to play with per member out there. So there's $5 to be split over a number of levels out there. So therefore we've got that, and plus from that we've got to retain administration fees on running it out there as well. So, but nevertheless, that's what we've got to play with. So as we come down the levels, we're not talking a lot of money that will be, but because of the volume you'll have there, it'll run into quite a large amount. All right. Now, what we're looking at is we've got a Platinum Founder Member Package. Now, with this particular package, you purchase a Line 6 position for $10,000 USD. Now, there's a limited number of positions available. You receive a Platinum member link in the e-commerce social media platform. This position will go into a rotator marketed by the company. You'll receive 4 positions in the rotator. Now, because of having to put a disclaimer, there is no guarantee that you'll make these levels of income out there. We really don't know. That can be up to the individual, but we certainly will be marketing it out there to do what we need to do. So just absorb that. So that's a Platinum Founder Member Package, and you'll find that Line 6 out there, because of the amount of members coming in, will have 4 levels underneath it. So there's quite a bit of meat in the Line 6. Now, the Gold Founder Member Package, it's purchased Line 7 position at $5,000 USD. a limited number of positions available. Receive a gold member link in the e-commerce social media platform. This position will go into the rotator, marketed by the company, and you'll receive 3 positions in the rotator. And once again, there's no guarantee on income level from this, but nevertheless, we have got the funds there. It's not as though you have to go and introduce anybody to be paid, so you will be paid just by joining up. So I think everybody can chalk up quite a few family and friends that they could bring into the social media side, and I think we all probably know at least one retailer. I mean, people, that's what we do, we buy things, so you're going to know one retailer, whether it be a takeaway food, furniture, it can be any type of retailer at all. The Silver Founder Member Package, it's purchased 1 line 8 position at $3,000 USD, a limited number of positions available. They receive a Silver Member link in the e-commerce social media platform. This position will go into a rotator marketed by the company, and you'll receive 2 positions in the rotator. And once again, with a disclaimer, there's no guarantee of income. So that's the silver. The final one is that, and remember this is all based on creating volume on our coin, so that we've got that going. Now the bronze founder member package, its purchase is the equivalent of 1 LA coin at the market maker's value. Now what happens from that is, right now, just to use an easy figure, the market maker's value was $338. So therefore that's what it would cost. But what you receive is 1 NLA coin into your wallet. So you receive that back. So like all of the other things here, people aren't looking to return it from this program. They're getting the coin back, and those coins, as I said, we're not relying on investors, and so we are taking this ourselves to go out there and try to create volume, and the bank applaud us for that as well. So there's a lot of activity going on. A lot of people want this to go and to get the coin definitely out there. So this is all part of introducing this to the merchants as well. This position will go into the rotator marketed by the company. You'll receive 1 position in the rotator. So this is unlimited on the amount of members we can have in. The other packages, because they're related to the positions in Next Level Africa, are most definitely limited to where it is. We do have a member who has indicated that they want a platinum founding member package. Now that member obviously knows who they are because they want it. I won't mention their name unless they want to give me the okay on this call now, and I'll mention their name. If not, I'll just let it go from there, that we have already expressions of interest on 1 position, which will be our first platinum founding member. I'm looking there, I can't see any response. So look, we respect the members as well. We're not trying to bring attention to anybody out there, because with some of this, people might want to take a number of positions, particularly in the bronze position for family and stuff, because once we launch this out there and all the links are sent, there'll be no more links going front line to the company, just whatever's there. So look, that'll give something to think about. So if anybody wants any further information, or anyone who is interested in taking part in this first come, first served limited opportunity, please send an email with the subject line as ecom pre-launch founding membership to support@smarter.world. Now that will allow us to answer any of your questions out there, because you may not be able to put them all together now, thinking about that. But we found that this is the best way for the community, that we can have everybody supporting the community, and they mean something. You know, to have that founding member package in this e-commerce is going to be something special for everybody, I believe. All right, I'm going to hand this back to Angelina now, and she'll just compile any questions we have there. I'll try to answer whichever ones I can that I know anything about, but I've told you everything I know at this point, so that's where we are with it. All right, I'll hand this back to Angelina.
To bring pieces of information together, and as we have more discussion about this, it'll become clearer to people. I did post in the comments for people that subject line and email address if you're interested in more information. Well, actually, not just more information, but if you'd like to provide an expression of interest in the memberships, please send an email to that email address. Now, we've got quite a few questions coming in. My gosh. Okay, hold on with the questions. Okay, the last question I see posted is from Peter. So I know no one else can see these questions, but please don't post any more questions for the moment, because we've got to catch up. We've got to give Noel a bit of a chance to catch up here. So the first question comes from Stephen. He's saying, Noel, I will have one platinum package once I can liquidate coins at CEX to source funds for it. And I read the question out because Stephen says you can mention my name, Noel. So, Noel, if you'd like to just elaborate a little bit about what he's saying here regarding liquidating coins.
Look, I think you can appreciate that everybody would say that hold that position for me till I can liquidate coins, and that's fine, but we don't have that many positions. There are no more positions left from 1 to 5. They're all gone, and so we now really only have a small number of positions on the line of 6. So on line 6. So I don't believe we can hold anything out there. But look, if you want to send an email in, there might be some sort of compromise that can happen out there, but I don't believe we'll be able to hold it, because, as I said, everyone would put that, and we just don't have enough positions to do that on line 6. Okay, so I've been asked here, please explain how the rotator process works. A rotator works a bit like you may see the rotator system work in next level Africa with a project with the BBACs. So what happens from there, that someone wants to piggyback, and the next in line comes up, and the members join that particular project. So that's the same as how a rotator works. It just simply skips through and does it. You can put people in a number of times in the rotator, or simply have them once, but once it completes, it just moves on to the next person. So the rotator runs indefinite, just simply moving through to the next available. So we don't work out who joins what. The system, it just comes in sequence from that. So it's well, I want to say a lucky dip eventually, that because we'll be marketing it out there, everyone will finish up with some sort of quality because we are marketing to the merchant market out there. So that's how a rotator works. Okay, a good question there, Megan, about the blockchain. Look, once again, we are still waiting for that. We are paid. The programmer looking after that, Jamie, he was called from Japan to London. He spent a week in London getting things sorted out for me, and I thought by now, in all fairness to it, he would have the blockchain up and running for us. So I don't believe there's too much to do. So these are questions that we ask every single day, because I did pay for it like 2 months ago, and I was told 2 months ago to take a week. So so whatever reason out there, and it's certainly not from our end of why they're not putting it on the blockchain. Remember, where are we with loading line 8 and 9? Once 6 goes in, we've got 7 ready to go. When 7 goes in, 8 will follow it very quickly. We've got it, really we have got it down. The only thing holding this up is we've got 5 accounts there that there's a duplicate on the e-commerce, and it wouldn't allow the members that own those 5 accounts to log in. So that's the issue we have, is getting those just 5 accounts. It's been that annoying. And look, in fact, I'll share this with you. I paid them some additional money 4 weeks ago to hurry this up, and it wasn't cheap. I paid quite a bit of money to get it hurried up, and it's still sitting there in limbo. So it's annoying to me to have to pay that money to get it done quickly, and it's still not completed. So anyway, we are, hoping that they've got that sorted out with what they're doing there. Also, why do we have a time when this will happen with the investors, and why are we still stuffing around with the hub in South Africa? Well, that's where our development team, and they've built the script for Next Level Africa, and the head of our development team, Vayner Vessels, he works in a consultancy basis with a bank. So he liaises with the investors and the whole deal. So the whole thing is relying around that. I will share this with you, that Vayner has made application to move to America. He has some family issues at the moment that he's dealing with. It's just some things that through the customs area that he's dealing with, and so once he gets that sorted out, he is actually moving to America, and we'll be getting things sorted out from there. So we are. It's not just easy to pack up and move it when you've got a development team that's got our script and they're building things and working on it. So we are doing this as well. So and the investors, look, once again, I can't tell these people to do it now. It's their call. They're the ones with the money. And I'll tell you now that some of these coin prices going in, that's we've been doing with them. It's been a challenge. Someone purchased $620 worth of NLA coins, and I believe they paid $31 for them. And immediately after that, we had a whole range of people drop prices, and I think it's down now to $13. If anyone thinks it's easier to bring an investor into a program where they can see people dumping coins like that, that's why we're wanting to get this e-commerce going out there, because we'll be buying all the coins off the exchange. If anyone wants to sell us coins for $13, we'll be more than happy to buy them. I don't see the exchange of NLA coin and Bitcoin as being anything near of selling coin a duck. And the reason I say that is because none of us with certainty know what the price of a Bitcoin or NLA coin will be tomorrow. That's something we don't know. We can guess out there. I'm telling you, I believe that the NLA coin will be up in value. If you ask me about Bitcoin, all I can say is it could be up, it could be down. I have no idea. I'm not knocking the coin, but that's the reality of it. So when you exchange one crypto for another, no one really knows how they've come out of this until they sell the crypto they've got. They can relate to that from me. So there's been a lot of activity. Look, I tried to do a figure on it there, but there's probably been 30,000 NLA coins exchange hands in the last couple of months because of the cryptocurrency Bitcoin exchange in there. So there's, look, I believe both parties, I mean, this is only my estimation, will be happy with it. So people will be happy that they've got their Bitcoin, that they've been able to sell the NLA coin for it, and vice versa. Because the only difference being is that I see out there, and I'm not trying to knock anyone that's done this, but if someone had, and I'm rounding these figures off, a Bitcoin at $4,000, it would buy 2,000 NLA coins at the moment on there. So 2,000 NLA coins as against one Bitcoin. How much is the Bitcoin going to be tomorrow on that? And who knows? It could be up, could be down. But if we have the investor, and particularly this e-commerce platform going, I have no idea, but I know that the NLA coin will be up, and that $4,000 investment would turn into probably $1 million. So that's the difference with it. And sometimes, you know, we've got to sit on investments. That's what these are. Crypto is an investment. It's not a get rich quick out there. I mean, people have been buying crypto now. I mean, look, there are different things happens out there. Even Bitcoin, when it was launched, it was very slow getting started, and then it hit a peak there. One time, $1,100 a coin, and overnight it dropped down to $200. So it's had troughs out there, and this could be another trough it's going through now. I think everyone would like to see it head back up again, because it certainly, any cryptocurrency, whether it's Bitcoin or our coin, brings it to the mainstream investors out there. Jan, who is taking the line 1 to 5 positions in the e-commerce platform? I'm not sure what that actually means. Who is taking the line 1 to 5 positions in the e-commerce platform? There's no lines in the e-commerce platform. Jan, if I can just clear that up. I think you might be talking about lines 1 to 5 in NLA. Well, they're all gone. They're all taken. So there's no more positions left in the in NLA from line 1 to line 5. Peter's saying, no, let's get the coin and the lines going first before we jump into some other projects. Just my thinking. This, incidentally, there, Peter, is not another project, if you like. It's associated with Next Level Africa. We're offering members the opportunity to take up the positions that are available there, and in doing that, we're able to help a lot of our people that we want to simply be able to help in picking them into Next Level Africa. So there's no new program for this. And because you'll be able to, I mean, we've got to get it started because we've got to roll it out. You'll be able to join the e-commerce platform once it's launched out there. So there'll be no problem. And that's your call. It's your call on it. You can join it or not join it, but it's simply you get paid if you sign up on it. James is asking that type of matrix, and I should imagine you're talking about e-commerce. E-commerce is unit level. Happy with it, James? Got to run as wide as you want it to run. It's unlimited to what you can make. Whereas if you do a matrix, you're limited to what you can make. You can only run it down a certain number of lines, and then it becomes difficult to manage it from there. So the unit level, and look, it's all about people knocking on the doors of major retailers. If people have got retail contact out there, my background is retail, so I do have a lot of contacts. So once we get this started, I'll be able to bring a lot of retailers in, but those retailers will not come in to the system until we set up the front line of the company with the founding members. So anything I do out there will be to benefit everyone on that line out there. We do have, if anyone were to look at reachme.com.au, retail.com.au, which is an Australian site out there. We've got about 5,000 retailers on there. So I don't know whether anyone knows this, but I run directories and things like that. So I'm in contact with many retailers out there. We run directories in the US and in Australia. So so we do have a lot of retail activity that we can talk to, and you know, once we get started with this, we won't talk to them because this is only open to NLA members. No one will be able to purchase any of these founding member packages that are not a member of Next Level Africa. That's the conditions on it. So it wouldn't matter how much money someone had, they would not be able to purchase a position in there. So I just want to make that clear. It's something to benefit the members out there as well. Once again, the blockchain, I did answer that earlier on. We're just still waiting on the programmer in Japan to list this on the blockchain out there. So I hope to do that. Ray's asking how many positions can members have. It's pretty obvious in the lines. Look, we will only want people to take one position for the lines out there, so we can share them with as many people as possible. And but with the bronze membership, well, it's pretty obvious that it's only one position per member, but people can have, you know, family members and other members come into it as well. So therefore it's going to be shared like that. But the lines, because we're limited out there, we want to share them rather than, you know, one or two people taking up the majority of them. Yes, look, I know it's disappointing with South Africa. It's extremely disappointing, but I receive the news from them. I don't instigate the news, and so contacting them, and they do have other businesses that they're dealing with as well. They're in chaos over there with what's going on. So we hear from South Africans on what's going on over there outside of our you know, base there of people. So we do know that they're dealing with this all over the place. I feel for them. Mind you, we've got to do something about it. I'm not going to let this run like that. We can't. It seems that they've, apart from their electricity company owing money, and from what I gather, and I only say this on what I've heard, and maybe I shouldn't say it, but it sounds like government are siphoning off money as well, so they just don't have the funds to do things out there. So they've got major issues. I'll just go back up. Right, how many positions can members have? Oh, you're talking about signing up. Well, there's only one per member, because we can't have people taking 1,000 positions and be one person in a situation like this, because we're trying to attract advertisers to come in as well, and this will be another revenue pot that we'll be sharing with members out there. And remember that the people who will be at the forefront of this, because they are the people that really got behind it, will be the founding members. So as we start to release funds out there, because we will have, I'll just use a quick one on advertising, and it's probably a little bit left field where we are. My son has just gone up to a convention. He's just going up to Coffs Harbour, and they have 170,000 followers on their Instagram, and they told the people at Coffs Harbour they have that, and they'd be interested in promoting as something to do with a hotel motel they're staying at up there. So they finished up giving them 2 nights free up there. So it was my son's first opportunity to see what you can do when you've got 170,000 people following. We are hopefully getting into the hundreds of millions into this, so we'll have some fairly decent advertisers who want to promote what they're doing, and we'll be able to share that with the members as well. So the question, when will the NLA coin be traded? It's been traded now. So, I mean, it's up to the individuals who have the coin. The people selling them in their product at that price, they're really affecting the investors and how they see us up there. They just see it as a dump area for it. So you can't, if you were out there paying $300 for a coin and people listing them for $13, you might want to think twice about throwing hard-earned at that. So if anyone knows or anyone's got coins listed out there anywhere near these figures of $30, and so they really need to get rid of them. They need to get rid of them because they just, it's something that stands out to the investors, and it's just making it harder. And that's what they're questioning out there. We've had to reinforce them, and that's why this e-commerce is going to happen. We've had to reinforce to them that we are not reliant on members that are going to do that. We are going to lift this out there and promote the coin. They want to see that. They want to see that there is something behind the coin apart from people dumping coins on there for $13 a coin. And so that's why this has been brought forward so that we can show the investors out there that the NLA coin is the coin to invest in. Yeah, okay, Mary, I think I've covered that with you're asking when our purchase of NLA coins for sale will be sold. Well, when someone buys them, I suppose, is the short answer to that. Yeah, John's asked what's the time frame for everything running as we want it to be. Look, because of this issue we've had with Line 6, with the was that we need to be able to do that to help our membership base. Nigel's asking, are the e-commerce pre-launch enrollment links not requiring a fee? There's no fee on this at all. I just want to add that in. There's no fee on joining the e-commerce. What you need to do on that, Nigel, and anybody that's interested in getting a link, is to contact our support. So we've got record of everybody there and record of who's after what position, and you'll be instructed from there what to do. And so we'll do it case by case on there, so that we need to get started, because we're anticipating that we'll have look, who knows, a couple of thousand people involved with this. So we don't want to be having this holding up the launching of what we're doing. So we want it in place so that we're ready to just open it up and it's ready to happen. So we're putting together some of our videos and explanation and doing the final compensation plan on there as well. Maggie, how the investors will buy the coins? Will they buy the coins in CX exchange and they are for the listed value, whether the value for sale is 30? Well, if someone's listed a coin there for $30, then that's what it'll be sold for. I can't tell you how much over the recommended retail from the market maker. It's now currently 338. I might go as far as to say it could go up to 340 plus on that, but once again, I really don't know. I know it'll be 338 for sure, but I believe it'll go a whisker more than that. What percentage either side of, well, the high side is entirely up to the investor. Maybe you're right, they could have power generators, but it's the cost of petrol that's killing them. So a lot of them are looking for solar. Petrol over there is $2 a litre. So running a generator is quite a strain on their operating costs. They have to virtually double what they charge to do anything now if they're running generators full time. Marlene, so will the e-commerce social media begin before the investors buy coins? How long will we have to wait for the NLA to start? Just so that you're clear, the investors and the e-commerce that we're talking about now are totally different. They're totally different. The investors are different to Next Level Africa. That's a standalone item. So it's got nothing to do with Next Level Africa getting going, whether the investors are there or not. They just look at the exchange. And if they can see coins listed there at reasonable price, that would be better. But the e-commerce and the NLA have got nothing to do with the investors and the coin sales. Over there, they have the bank contacts as well. So therefore, that's why it stayed there with our development team. I just mentioned our head of our development team is looking to move to America. He's had enough of South Africa himself. So we are looking forward to that happening out there. I feel sorry for him being over there with this, but once again, it's been a drain. I don't know if I would recommend anybody to be involved with South Africa as far as programming and stuff goes out there. There's a lot of issues that seem to come up with it, but nevertheless, we are involved with it now, and I just need to make sure we make all the right movements. So I need to make sure it's in conjunction with what is required of us with the bank, etc. Nigel, just a quick one on that. The lady went from the UK, I believe London, to Los Angeles is where they're at. Yes, look, I'll end on that there now, but it will be recorded and posted into the room. We may do a separate recording on the e-commerce social media platform, so it's a standalone. I'll have a look at that now, and I do want to thank everybody for turning up on this. And look, there is not a day that goes by that we don't seek out more information about what's going on. So we'll be staying with that out there. So believe you me that we will most definitely, as soon as we get something, we'll post it. We have a lot of people contacting us in PM and asking what's going. But we've got that many fronts that we're working on with the exchange, NLA, and just things out there, the blockchain, the whole lot. It's hard to give anyone just a simple answer when they say, where are we at? So, all right, look, I'll hand this back to Angelina to close it off. Thank you again, everybody, for turning up, and I'm sure that we're going to get a result on this very, very soon. And with this e-commerce, that will only encourage the investors to be part of this. It won't drive them away.
That the e-commerce membership that we've just gone through today. Really appreciate the support. Also, just a quick note that when you do send an email of interest, that you include which, I couldn't think of a better way to say it, the level, you know what I mean, platinum, bronze, platinum, silver, gold, otherwise, okay? I think Noel also indicated that it's not $1 coins, it's the current value of the NLA coin.